right, everyone, welcome to Ohana, and here at the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have our red Zerg player up 2-0 in this best of 9. Looking to make another $500 this week, no big deal. It's TSL HyuN, his opponent here in the upper left-hand corner. The former Slayers member, our yellow Protoss player trying to bring things back, it's Brown.
I actually just thought of something that I thought I should mention for the folks. For IPTL contender next season, obviously Slayers is no longer a team, so they're not going to be able to participate.
That's right.
So we're actually having Acer and Dignitas, the two teams that fell out completely.
Yep.
They were the next closest ones. We're having them actually play off to decide who gets to stay in contender.
Yep.
That match is going to go on during the playdowns in the next few weeks.
Yeah, that match will probably be scheduled the same time that we would have seen Caronte versus Slayers.
Yeah, we would have seen Caronte versus Slayers, yeah.
And just to clarify for anyone out there who may be wondering, the Caronte match was played against Enes Hosa before we knew of Slayer's disbandment, so it's not like they could have known that it was going to be a bye for them or anything along those lines.
In addition to that, there's been some confusion about the order. Head-to-head is how tiebreakers are decided first in IPTL. So MVP finishes first in that group, and it's Enes Hosa actually finishes ahead of Caronte in that group as well. So it's not like Caronte decided, oh, we're just going to lose less games so they'll finish first or anything like that.
Right.
That didn't enter into it at all.
Okay, so now taking a look at things, Ohana is a pretty large map for a two-player map. There's a lot of running paths in the middle, but you still have that same kind of setup as you do on Entomb Valley or Metropolis, where you have the destructible rocks going over to your third, so it can be pretty easy to take a third base. Brown, once again, going to go for Nexus first, and gets a pretty good look at what his opponent is doing.
Yeah, the one thing Brown has done, he's scouted very well in most of these games. He's been able to tell what HyuN is doing. He just hasn't really been able to take advantage of it so far. In his build, his openings have been very, very good for what HyuN's doing. He didn't try any shenanigans or anything when he had the Forge first against Hatch first, which maybe he should have done, at least get to some drones off the line. But he's been able to do Nexus first fairly successfully without any repercussions. Here, though, he opted for, I believe, Forge first.
No, he actually went Nexus
he did
first.
Do Nexus first, yeah, okay.
Nexus first, Forge was up just a couple of seconds afterwards, and Gateway on the way after that. So we'll see how he wants to proceed from here. Of course, we'll probably see a couple of gas here in just a second. And the question is, how does he want to follow it up? Like I said, it's another map where you can actually segregate the Zerg third. So two base attacks are cool. They can work. Longer macro games are certainly a possibility here too, although it's a little more difficult for Protoss players to hold on to that fourth base, which has two entrances. And this spot right here is tailor-made for Broodlords flying over and sieging up the fourth.
It's really gross because you can't even blink underneath them right there. It's basically like open space. I'm not really surprised that Brown has chosen Cloud Kingdom and Ohana back-to-back, as those are kind of the quote-unquote best Protoss maps in the map pool. Very, very similar layouts for trying to take third bases. But he's going to have to get a win on Ohana, or he's going to find himself, with two of the better Protoss maps out of the map pool. And I know he would have liked to win on at least one of them, already be down 2-0.
And he took his second guess slightly later than his first. The first game when he did that, he decided to try and hit a 3 Immortal push. Once again, we do see ground weapons coming up. So when the Cybernetic score finishes up, I mean, if he produces a Sentry, he's probably going to say defensive, go for a third. If he makes a Stalker, maybe that we're going to see Robotics Facility and a few Gateways and a big push again.
Yeah, I'm still...
Oh,
there it is.
Okay, it is actually a Stalker. I was like, wait a second, you're just trying to trick me now.
He's trolling you, Kevin.
He is. I'm used to it.
HyuN, obviously, he's got his good scout again. He saw the Gateway start up, so Overlord going to make his way out to scout the third when that goes up. HyuN doing his standard HyuN build once again. Droning up, very, very safe, no gases. He'll get it a little bit later when he gets up to, what is it, 35 drones?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty standard stuff. Yeah. He's got 36 done now. Oh, wait a second. Okay, so this is actually an exception because some Zerg players will do this. We see players, Rhett is fond of trying to, power out as many drones as possible. Yeah. And in this case, he did actually wait until 43 drones were finished with 5 more on the way before he put up extractors.
And he put 3 up instead of just 2. So slight variation on the HyuN build.
That is going to delay his Roach Tech for a while, though, and all signs point towards Brown jumping down, even though he went Nexus first rather than Forge first like he did in Game 1.
Yeah.
All signs point towards him making another really powerful Immortal attack.
Yeah, I really would like to see him be aggressive against HyuN. I don't think it's You know, similar to how people used to say you can't just let Nest-T sit back in macro when Nest-T was dominating. HyuN is almost the same way at this point. You can't just let him sit and be comfortable in macro up to 200. Not very many people have been able to beat him when he's playing on his terms like that.
And HyuN decides to put down Roach Warren and Layer Tech at the same time once again. Even has that Evolution Chamber. He can afford all of this at the same time because he did go for a few more drones before actually moving forward. And, whoa, my cursor just like randomly super sped up there. Sorry about that. 4 gateways and a robotics facility with a second Immortal already on the way. This is a lot of pressure it's going to be put on once again.
Yeah, and we'll see if he decides to put down a few more gateways or if he decides to spend. Yeah, there's 4th and 5th, so we are going to see some kind of a push.
7 gates.
Like 7 gates. Yeah, 7 gate robo. He should push off of this, and I would think investing this much into production, he's going to have to get some damage done because he's going to be way behind on his 3rd if he doesn't. And I don't really like producing that many production buildings and then expanding. It's just kind of a waste of time when you could have used, you know, 450 minerals for 3 gateways on a Nexus, essentially. So that's basically the trade-off. And we'll see what kind of damage he can get done and how HyuN prepares for it and if he manages to scout all those gateways. He does have an Overseer in position to do that.
And we'll see if Brown decides to make another Warp Prism right afterwards. I would assume so. He has the 200 minerals. There it goes. Warp Prism coming up, and he's going to push out on the map with a lot of units. And unfortunately for HyuN, he's actually going to move in and scout just after all the units have moved out.
Yeah, so he actually has not seen enough to tip him off. He's seen the gateways. He hasn't seen the units yet. And wow, this actually could be costly. Okay, he's seen one other one. He needs to see the others, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a pretty good indication. He knows it's at least 5 gates, so that's why he's producing nothing but Zerglings now. And Brown, he force fields off a few Zerglings. That's not a bad game there, and he gets position and starts moving through the middle of the Selnaga Towers.
Yeah, and now HyuN knows what's coming. You see he's all units now. He's kind of stopped drone production. It's time to just, you know, spew out units, but he doesn't have roach speed yet. If these get caught, that could be really bad. Pretty good force fields, but he needs to get better ones. He needs to take advantage of the fact that HyuN doesn't have roach speed.
Yeah, and, you know, HyuN did delay everything by about, 20 seconds or so, but trying to pump out an additional round of drones. And maybe that's the time that Brown needs to get in here and do damage. And he does trap all the roaches.
Field. Yeah, so he's going to get a few roaches. Oh, the Lings can't help out, and almost all the roaches go down. Roach speed finishes up now, but it's too late. He's already lost most of his roach force, and Brown is on the move with this Warp Prism. This could do a lot of damage if HyuN isn't careful.
All right, well, HyuN saving up all of his units. Probably wants to flank here in a second. There's probably already a full wall back. Yeah, along with the second Photon Cannon. Looks like a 3rd and a 4th on the way as Brown wants to make sure that nothing is going to destroy him in a counterattack.
And now Brown's gotten great position. He's all the way up the ramp. Now the units are going to be locked out, and the roaches can't help. The Lings can't help, and what's in the base is all that HyuN is going to be able to save. Those units are not going to be able to get up in time. All he has to do is keep centering the ramp, and he's going to move right. Yeah, HyuN knows that's it. GG. Wow. Well done by Brown there in Game 3.
Okay, so he takes the game back. He will not be shut out.
Yes.